We got a non-Star Wars build today. I keep wanting to build this. This is... I don't know what it's called. It's the Lego truck? Question mark? I don't have a lot of sets that are not Lego, not Star Wars, but I do also really like Lego themed Lego sets. I had this for a while, but I wanted to build this for a long time, but I keep forgetting how big it is. It's got like 10 bags, so I think today, I don't know if I'll be able to finish it. If not, continue another time. Today, oh! Beverage of the day is not Coke. I already had some Coke today, but this is the new addition to the collection of Coke bottles. It's like an aluminum or tin can, but with a twist top instead of a thing. The Japanese packaging. Very cool. Then I didn't actually see this packaging when I was in Japan because I did look. Wanted to get some Japanese exclusive Coke packaging, but I couldn't find any aside from the Pepsi one that I found. But this is the Japanese packaging of Coke. I mean, not the only kind, but I feel like it's more exclusive. Very good condition too. Well, it's already empty because I drank it last weekend, but wanted to show it off. It's gonna stay over there. But I did have Coke today, earlier today. Very, rare thing for me to have soda pop on a weekday. Not that I have a particular rule about it. Oh, so hard to open. What is in here? I don't even know what's in here. But this past week been absolutely crazy for me. At work, I had the... So I talked about this last week. They were like, oh, some people are gonna go on leave, so we're giving you a bunch of their assignments. And I was like, oh, okay. It's like a black hair and hairstyle. They're like, we're gonna give you a bunch of assignments from other people. But don't worry. It's gonna be like half done, so it's not all brand new. And you have 2 days to work all of them. And I was just like, I mean, I don't think it was a request. I think it was a just so you know kind of thing. So I had Thursday and Friday to work it. Which I did. But obviously I had to stay overtime for it. Not that there is really overtime pay, because whatever. And then because of that, like, just my inventory has gone up a lot. And then Monday, Tuesday comes, and obviously they're the busier days of the week. And having to work overtime super late. Like, I think I worked 3 hours over on Monday, which was fantastic. But today, luckily, I got off super on time. Because I had some old stuff that got reopened that counts as an assignment. So I didn't actually get any new stuff to me, which gave me a little bit of good breathing room for that. So that's why today is a little bit better for me, hopefully for the rest of the week. I was able to finally get off work on time for the first time this week. And then today, well, today after work, so cause like, for my place, we have, like a mailbox where everyone's mailboxes are. It's not like you have a mailbox for each home. And Wednesdays, because I go out, I go to work in person on Wednesdays. I usually, when I get home, I just get the check my mailbox on the way, or not on the way, but like since I'm already out, I check the mailbox once I get home. And when I went, there was I guess like a family, like a mom and 2 kids that was also there to get their mail, and they're so cute because they're Japanese, or at least the mom is Japanese, but the kids look maybe like mixed. But I found out today that I have a Japanese neighbor. Not that I said anything to them, but the mom was speaking Japanese to the kids. Because the mom saw me coming and was like getting her mail and trying to get out of the way for me to get my mail. And the kids were there, like, just like doing whatever kids do. But the mom was like speaking to them in Japanese, like, get in the car. Which was really cute. I don't know if they actually live next to me or in other parts of the community, but their mailbox was right next to me, so we are mailbox neighbors, at least. I have a Japanese mailbox neighbor. I didn't say anything to them though, because I'm awkward and shy. But I'm dressed very nicely because I just got back from work, so hopefully they had a good impression of me. Instead of if I went other days, any other days, it would be just me and my t-shirt and slides. So I'm glad that my first impression was me in dress, pants, and shirt. But yeah, today I found out I had Japanese neighbors. Japanese mailbox neighbors, at least. Next time I know what their car looks like now. Next time I will stalk if I see their car, I will see which house they go into. But today at work, we got Red Robins. Like our team had, our supervisor got us food from Red Robins. And I was like, because he was like, because the team voted for, well, the other option was Starbucks. So, you know, everyone likes free food. So, we ended up choosing Red Robin. So he's like, get me your orders by 9 today so I can order it for lunch. And I was like, I've never been to Red Robin's. I don't know what is good at Red Robin. So I had to take some time to look at the menu. I ended up ordering like a bacon cheeseburger, fries, and a Coke. And that's why I had Coke today. Because we got free lunch. Oh, peace. But it's funny because I have a friend who I like to joke that brings me to the most mediocre American places ever for food. And I feel like Red Robin fits that criteria. So I'm continuing my journey of tasting mediocre American food. Is this what American culture is? It's like we keep going to mediocre places and I keep getting disappointed by mediocre food. I'm not disappointed by the experience though, like, oh look, we have a hot dog stand. We have like Costco, that, it's not Costco, but looks like Costco hot dog menu, that hot dog and a drink for 20 cents, 2 cents, 20 cents. Then we have a hot dog stand with a drink inside, which is Vita Rush. Vita Rush. And some hot dogs and ketchup and mustard. Very cool. Since moving, because, you know, every time you move, you gotta get to know your neighborhood Costco. This Costco that's close to me that I go to now, let's put it over here. Because it's a little bit farther from me, I only go on the weekends. And obviously on the weekends there's gonna be more people. There is always a huge line for the gas, which is reasonable. Because probably can't get cheaper gas than Costco. So like every time I go, well, not every time. When I go, I try to fill up, just in case I don't go for another few weeks. But there's always a huge line for gas, which is fine, because whatever. And then, where was it going? Oh, the food court. So the last Costco that I go to, the food court is outdoors. So it's like an open space with some seating. Kind of like there's a roof, but it's like semi-outdoors, I guess. But here, it's all indoors, and it's just because the last Costco that has outdoors, outdoor food court, that means like the Costco like shopping area, and the food court is like kind of separate spaces, so people don't like, you can just go for food and it won't, like, it's separate, so it won't really crowd up the shopping space. But this one now that I go to now, the food court is right next to the checkout area. So it becomes like all congested in the checkout area because you got the checkout, and once you go out of once you're done checking out, it's the food court is right there. Um, and because of that, I haven't gotten any Costco food there. I just feel like, because like, also if you're gonna go in, I don't know, but if you go in just for the food, I wonder if you have to go in from the front, or else like this one is far enough that I won't really go just for food. So like if you're gonna shop and then get food, then you have like a bunch of people with their shopping carts like blocking the space. So it's kind of annoying, and the indoor space obviously is not gonna be as big as an outdoor space. So yeah, that's why I haven't gotten food at this Costco. Or else I used to get lunch at Costco a lot. And a lot of times I would just go for the food. But I don't really like this current Costco's food court setup. But anyways, had Red Robin today. Cheeseburger and some fries and a Coke. Coke was good. Cheeseburger, it was okay. The portion was pretty good. For God, it was like for $17 or something, which in this economy, I'd say it's fair for that amount of food. It's burgers and fries too. So fries are pretty good, but it was takeout, so it's not gonna be as good as you eat it there. I give it a solid mediocre out of mediocre American food. But I have a thing for eating in front of people I don't know, or not like people I'm not super familiar with, and I would like my team. Like obviously we know each other, but I don't think we're that close yet. So I was very nervous because we had to eat together. I don't know what's up with me, but just like a weird thing about I get very self-conscious eating in front of other people. Eating in front of people I don't know. People I don't and super close with. Wait. Oh, the small wheels and big wheels. Okay. But everything was fine. Everyone was talking, and I'd just be eating. I don't think anyone noticed me. And you laugh when someone tells a joke. And then just continues eating. Got a little car going on. Oh, a forklift. Got a forklift. What is this? Goes. Oh, it's a rubber band inside. Okay. Goes here. Oh, I see. Okay, I need to rubber band. Oh, I see. Got a forklift. And then goes here. Oh, no. This goes here. Eh? Wrong. Ah! Put it in the wrong. Okay. Got a forklift, and you can do like that. Very cool. Let's see. Oh, he needs his helmet to be in the forklift. So he sits here. If he will sit down. He looks happy to be at work. Ta-da! And he can use the forklift like this. Look how happy he is at his job. Oh, he can stay here. Oh. Oh, you push here. You push here and the fork goes down. Very cool. Okay, stay there. And that's bag one. Let's see. I have this set. I got it in what is it? No, I think Spain. Because they were doing something that you buy this set and you get an exclusive sticker, and I bought it for the exclusive sticker. I don't even remember where the sticker is. But I have that set. And I did build it too. Okay. Okay. Oh, Red Robins. What was I gonna do? Oh, other mediocre places that we went with my friend. Look at his beard though. The rubber piece. He has a nice beard. Nice beard. And he has a hat. Oh, I like the hat too. Oh, decent. Look at him. Let's stand over here. Other mediocre places. I think what are some like iconic American cuisine? I don't think I went to this one with maybe I no, I didn't go to this one with my friend. Chili's. Chili's. We had a Chili's very close to my college, like close to the college town. So I did go maybe like with my ex or something and her family. Chili's. Honestly, it's so long ago, I don't remember much. But I think I had I think I also had Chili's last 3 moves ago, when I drove with my mom across the country. When I moved. I think we also had Chili's one night because it was right next to the hotel. How what I got? Oh, let's do this. You know what? Let's do this. Wait. What is this? Peen. Let's do this. My trusty Paint. Microsoft Paint never lets me down. Let's see. Do a tier list. Let's do a very janky tier list. Use the jankiness. Do this. Oh no. I need to. The blocking, whatever. Okay. Trusty Paint. Trusty Microsoft Paint. Okay. We can do. This is. Properly. Moderate. Mediocre. Mediocre. Properly mediocre. And this is better than expected. Not sure what will go in that one, but better than expected, properly mediocre, and won't be going back. Or won't be going back soon. Never say never. Let's see. Red Robins. Red Robins can go in properly mediocre. Red Robins. Even though I don't know what is the scenario that I would go to Red Robin. Chili's, I feel I can go into properly mediocre. Chili's, welcome to Chili's. Chili's. What's next? Let's see. I think the mediocre tour started with. Oops. The mediocre tour started with I don't think this can count as a mediocre as a American cuisine, but it is McMenamins. It's not it is not available everywhere. So I don't know if I should call it proper mediocre iconic American cuisine, but I think I will count it. The thing is, the food was very properly mediocre, but the experience itself, if you've been to a McMenamins, is very nice. So I think I will give it a better than expected, but with is because of the whole experience, not because of the food. So I'll do Mecmenim. How do you spell it? Mecmenim. Mecmenim. Mec. Mecmenim. 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 Mechan. Okay. Mecmenim. You get the point. Our trips start with McMinimums, and then what's next? I think the next American cuisine was what's it called? Cheesecake Factory, I think. Cheesecake Factory, I think. Was there any special occasion? I don't know why I thought it was. I think the time that we went, someone else had a special occasion, not us. I remember someone was celebrating something. Cheesecake Factory. Well, first of all, Cheesecake Factory. The menu. The menu is like a entire novel. It's like a whole Bible. Thick. Like why you got so many pages. And then I think I forgot what we got, but it's like some sort of pasta dish, I think. I think we got some sort of pasta. And obviously we got cheesecake as well. Since they are the Cheesecake Factory. And I do like cheesecake. I don't like cakes a lot, but I do like cheesecake. I don't like sponge cake kind of cakes, but I like cheesecake. So I was very excited for the cheesecake. I forgot what we got, but I was excited for it. I don't remember the food being particularly extraordinary, as this is the mediocre food tour of America. The cheesecake, I think it was probably too sweet, but what can you say? It's an American cheesecake. And it's not like in a bad way, but so properly mediocre or better than expected. I had fond memories of that whatever meal, but I think the food as a whole as well, I would do a properly mediocre. Properly mediocre. What was it? Cheesecake Factory. Cheesecake Factory. What's next? What did we go? Oh, I remember. Wait, I thought too. I thought of two that we went. Let's do which one did we go first? Probably Waffle House. Waffle House. Is Waffle House the Universal? Not Universal. Countrywide experience. It's funny because Waffle House has a certain image and reputation. It definitely lives up to the reputation. It's like if you go to a Waffle House, you are expecting something to happen. You know? Like, oh, I got an extra beard. It's like if you go to Waffle House and there's no drama there, like what are you there for exactly? And I remember, I think if I'm remembering correctly, we went to Waffle House more than once, right? I think. Unless my memory is gaslighting me. The food is good though. It's like American diner food kind of. And they have breakfast all day. I do like a good hash brown and some crispy bacon. And it's like it has to be greasy. I remember definitely got bacon and hash browns. Maybe a sandwich or forgot. But honestly, it was pretty good because if we did go back, that means it means it's worth going back for. So I would say, well, Waffle House, I would say better than expected, definitely. And it's like, it's not just the food, you know, it's like a full-on Waffle House experience, if you know what I mean. You're there for something else, or you're there for not just the food, you're there for the Waffle House experience. So I'm gonna rate Waffle House a better than expected American cuisine. But I honestly don't know if Waffle House is everywhere. It goes under market minimums. Waffle House. Next up, I remember Applebee's. Applebee's, I can say upfront, is properly mediocre. I think Applebee's is the essence of mediocre American cuisine. What did I get? I think I got like well, my friends definitely did get a burger and fries. I got was it like a plate entree with like, what was it called? It was like shrimp and mashed potatoes, something. But oh, I remember that time when we went, we were so freaking hungry. We were all starving. We were all starving, so maybe that made the food taste a little bit better. We were out, what were we doing? Shopping or something. And none of us had lunch. And it was like starvation. And Applebee's was like the closest. Was it the closest thing or closest food we can find that was open at that time? And I was also like, yeah, we haven't had like mediocre American food for a while. So why not? So I remember that. That was fun time too. I mean, anytime with friends, you just gotta be with the right people. Food doesn't matter. So I would say that Applebee's properly mediocre. What else? What else is like mediocre American food? Oh, I remember. Let's put Applebee's on the list. Applebee's. None of these mediocre food is like enough to make me think that I won't go back again. I mean, they won't be my first choice, but or second or third, but it can be on the list. Oh, what was I thinking? Oh. PF Chang's. PF Chang's. PF Chang's. I feel like that is another iconic mediocre cuisine. Can you call it American? I'm gonna call it American. It was a fun time though, I will say. We were at the mall, and I think we were just like deciding what we're gonna eat because we're all hungry. And I've never had PF Chang's. All of these on the tier list, I have only had once, aside from Waffle House, if my memory is serving me right. But yeah, these are all like first impression. Okay. So I was like, I've never had PF Chang's, and you know PF Chang's, they always have like the big horse outside. So I'm like, kind of want to try it. Like, the horse is always huge, iconic. Back 3. PF Chang's. Iconic decor. Iconic decor. And I don't know why. I think I remember probably like someone of my friend like mentioned going to PF Chang's, and I was like, I just have this like weird fascination, curiosity about it. So I voted for PF Chang's, and then I think both of my friends also were okay with it as like a joke, because it's funny because 2 of us were Asians and the other one was not. But oh, and I think the other one who was not Asian was the only one who had been to PF Chang's. Again, if my memory served me. But it's funny because it's like this non-Asian person bringing 2 Asians to a supposedly Asian cuisine. Hold on. Camera froze. Hold on. Alright. We have chains. And then, and like, none of the servers were Asian. And we're just like, such like a weird experience. Because you're at this supposedly Chinese restaurant that is like serving Americanized Chinese food. And we were just like, oh, looking at the menu. They all look so good. Pictures all looked very good. And then food came out and it was just like, and this is like a sit down restaurant, right? And it's like all fancy and stuff. And the food came out and it was just like, Panda Express kind of food. I mean, yeah, kind of. Panda Express presentation and food. I mean, I honestly would rate Panda Express higher. But Panda Express has like less options, I guess. But yeah. Everything was mediocre as expected. And I mean, I don't know what we were expecting. I think we went in as a joke. And I think I wanted to try it as a joke. It was a fun time for us. Experience was great, like I said. You just gotta be with the right people. Doesn't matter if the food tastes good or not. So the experience was great because of the company. The food though, I don't know. I don't know who approved it. And there was no Asians in the restaurant. There was no Asians. So I think that says something. I don't know what, but it's something. Said something. So it was a fun time for us. But I think I think I won't be going back anytime soon. So I'm gonna put unfortunate. First one in this tier, you have chains. And what else? What else is like... I don't know, I don't think I've been to anything else. Let me look up. American restaurants. Ooh, Olive Garden. Olive Garden is fits the criteria. Oh, I remember. I went to Olive Garden with... It was a long time ago with my ex and her friends. And plus, I've had a couple times where I had Olive Garden takeout. Olive Garden... Well, the breadsticks are good. I do think so. Pasta, I think it's like a hit or miss. Because, I remember, like, the white sauce, the kind of pasta was just, like, too much. Like, it was, like, too greasy, too rich, I think. But, like, the red sauce kind of pasta was pretty okay. I mean, I think I'll go back for the breadsticks. But it's so long ago, honestly, I don't remember a lot. I remember I didn't hate it because obviously we had, I had multiple experiences with it. Thing is not going in. Got a front of the truck, the semi. So I think, I wouldn't say it's better than expected, but I will put in properly mediocre is Olive Garden. And then I thought of, oh, Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse is an American experience, right? Texas Roadhouse, I don't remember, it was so long ago, I don't remember much. Obviously, I haven't gone back. I think I probably only went once. But they also have bread, don't they? Garlic bread or something. That's like, it's not, it wasn't endless though, right? I don't remember. I remember we went to it because I haven't been before and I wanted to try. I do remember the bread being good. I don't recall what we had otherwise. And the experience of it, I don't remember much. So that means it's not as memorable as the other experiences I had, such as PF Chang's. So I would say Texas Roadhouse. I mean, PF Chang's I'm not gonna go back for. I'll go back for fun. I'm not going back for the food. Texas Roadhouse. I only remember their bread. Probably won't be going back soon. I mean, I haven't gone back. Obviously. In a long time. So I think it fits that tier. So I'd say Texas Roadhouse goes in, won't be going back soon tier. The Texas Roadhouse. What else? What else is the quintessential American cuisine? And I'm not talking about fast food. It's like actual sit-down restaurant type of food. I will finish this page and I will Google. American food. Best American restaurant. It's showing me restaurants that are close to me. Oh, Black Bear Diner. Black Bear Diner is an American experience. I've been multiple times in multiple locations. I feel like I don't know why, and I don't know if it's probably just me that it's associated with road trips. 'Cause I think I had my first Black Bear Diner on a road trip. And then the second time was also not really a road trip, but it was away, like when we were on a trip. I had Black Bear Diner multiple times. Again, iconic architecture. Not architecture, decor. Iconic decor. Very on theme. They have a theme going on, just like PF Chang's. And the menu is like a looks like a newspaper, right? That's iconic, right? And I think it's like kind of like Waffle House all day breakfast kind of thing, right? Well, the vibe is different, but the type of food, I guess, is it the same kind of? I don't know. I definitely remember I've been there for dinner and breakfast or brunch. And I think Black Bear Diner has always been good to me, so I'd say it's a better than expected experience. If I do say so myself. Where's it go? Oh, it goes. What is this? Is it like a TV? It has a tiger on it. I think it's a TV. So Black Bear Diner will go in better than expected. Damn, I've been to a lot of these, more than I thought I had. Black Bear Diner. What else would be eligible for this tier list? Let me pull up my Google search. Does IHOP and Dennis count? Dennis? Dennis, right? I think that's it. That's all I've been. Which is a lot more than I thought I had been. Yeah, I guess that's the list. That's the tier list. Oh, did not mean to do that. The tier list is here. Oh, it's blocking my Coke. Let's stay here. Not that you can really see the Coke. Okay. So, long story short, I had an addition to my I had an addition uh to my mediocre American food experience today. I mean, the other people, they were saying like they like their fries or whatever. I mean, the fries are good. It's like steak fries. Steak fries. They had sweet potato fries as well, but steak fries, and it's like seasoned steak fries. So I think it was good. Properly mediocre, which is a pass. The pass, not like in a pass, but like a pass. What else happened this week? Oh, things that I watched this week. Oh, I watched a series first. I watched finished a series and a movie. I watched Tokyo Salad Bowl. It's on Netflix. I don't know how popular it is or how well received it was. I just was browsing and I saw it. And I read the synopsis and I was like, interesting. And so I watched it. The story is about a cop who works in the international crime division. So like they handle like criminals who are for foreigners, yes. Look at this chrome. It looks, can't see it because the camera is crap, but the chrome looks good. So like they handle like criminals who are foreigners. And then it's about that cop who has like iconic green hair. And an interpreter for the police force. And so the synopsis is like says like the cop and the interpreter, obviously become friends and some stuff happen. And then it was also about that cop uses food to kind of bonds with people through food, which is I think like what caught my eye. Interesting approach because food and culture. very, very intertwined. Um, so the cop she loves food. And she really likes to try different kinds of food, and she does try different kind of cuisines throughout the series. And a lot is like tied to the criminal, or whatever case that they were on for that episode. So each episode or each couple of episodes is like for a different crime. And not the people they interrogate is not always the criminal, and that's kind of the point, is like this cop is like kind of like the good cop, if you want to say it that way. Like she really gets to know these people and care for these communities because she knows how foreigners can be treated in Japan. And that's why they bond a lot with can't really say criminal, like the suspects, through food. Oh. So she bonds with people through food and just kind of like there's the contrast between her and the other cop who, just doesn't really get to know them like she does. And obviously a part of it is through interpreters. So the main character is a Chinese interpreter. And then there's other sort of minor characters who appears in the series. We have a Vietnamese interpreter, we have a English interpreter, and what was the other one? Like, was it like Sri Lankan or some other language that I am not familiar with? So those are the more other minor characters that appear in the series, but the main characters are the cop and the Chinese Mandarin interpreter. And sort of like the friendship that comes of it, and then we find out the past of that interpreter, because at the beginning of the film he was depicted as, oh, not the film, series, he was depicted as like kind of like a loner, and everything, one thinks he's weird, and the story is kind of told from the cop's point of view. So we didn't know who he was at first, and then we started to get to know him better, and then we started to dig into his past, and we find out that the interpreter used to be a cop too. So there was some, you know, past to discover about him, like why he ended up being an interpreter, why he decided to leave the police force and become an interpreter instead. And obviously these two go through, like I said, like each episode or each couple episodes are of one particular crime that they solve. But there's also the overarching main big crime that they're after as well. and I think this, and I guess one of the flaws, if well, my opinion, flaws is this is a very clearly black and white, good and bad kind of story. Because you have the cops, obviously good, um, regardless if they're bad cops or good cops, and then you have the main criminal that they're going after throughout the entire series, the big boss kind of thing, who you'll learn ends up being like the ultimate bad guys for foreigners in Japan. Which is kind of like, the cop being someone who really gets to know these people, and being um friends with the interpreter and all the other interpreters really. Um, they're all kind of striving to understand these foreigners more and try to because like I think Japanese society as a whole can be very uh xenophobic, and really just like, I mean, it's the same with any country really. Like, good and bad exists. There's going to be people who are and people who aren't. But with the main characters and relationships that she has with the suspects, with the other interpreters, like, they're also trying to understand these communities and trying to sort of dispel that sentiment that you know the country has uh about foreigners. Um and so that is a major, like, that's the good, and then the bad, you got people who um either are xenophobic or um try to exploit the foreigners. Um and the main big bad guy is the latter. Um and so that's why they're like the ultimate bad guy that they were trying to catch. Um overarching theme of the series. So I think in that maybe it lacks a little bit of complexity. Like, we all know it's not all black and white in this society. I think there could be added I think there could be more of a gray character, or even the main character I think could use a little more gray. Yes, they do have like a more complex past. Um which you'll discover, and I don't want to spoil. Um, but I think mainly it's still all like they do have a complicated past, but I really don't think it's gray in any way. Um, and honestly, it's not that complicated either. So, I just wish, I don't know, my personal opinion. I wish there was more gray and more complexity within the characters. Um, so that's one of my complaints. Um, and then the other complaint is really just, I don't think it's something that really could be helped, but um, the the main guy who's the Mandarin interpreter, I hate to say it, but he's obviously Japanese, right? Um, but the Mandarin, like, he speaks, like, if you don't understand Chinese, you probably think it was fluent, which obviously the actor would have practiced. Um, and being an interpreter, he's not gonna be like like stuttering or anything, but and maybe it's because he also like needs to speak pretty fast since his character is supposed to be fluent. That it honestly it was very hard to understand what he was saying. And I don't know why, or maybe because I had like Chinese subtitles. When they speak Chinese, they don't have Chinese subtitles. Like it becomes Japanese subtitles, which is embedded in the video because the audience would have been Japanese. And so like a lot of the times, or if I cannot like understand the Japanese subtitles, I would have no idea what they were talking about. Again, I don't think this could be helped because honestly, I'm sure there's actors who are fluent in Chinese. Is that hard to find? I don't know. I don't know. But the thing is the suspects who they needed to communicate with in Chinese, you can tell they're like definitely native speakers. Like those suspects like are definitely native speakers. But the cop is not, which again is fine. But it just if you speak Chinese, it's like I could barely understand what he was saying because he had such a thick Japanese accent. And the thing is, so they don't reveal this until later, but his setting is also that he grew up in China. And so he really should not have that thick of an accent. Like, I don't know if in that I don't know. Was it that crucial of a plot that he grew up in China? I don't think so. Like they could have just like made it that he learned it afterwards as a second language. I think that would explain the thick accent better. But this is just one of my minor, well, for me a big, but maybe for other people a minor complaint is that the accent is just so thick that if it was me, like if I was the suspect and someone who's trying to interpret and has that thick of an accent, I couldn't even understand what they were saying. You know? You know what I'm saying? We got the truck. And then we gotta do the trailer. You can open the front just like they do with the regular trucks. Oh, you can do like... Wait, can you open more? It can open like this. And then you push it down. Very cool. And then this top comes off too. Book 3, which is the thickest one. What bag am I on? Bag 5. Bag 5. Okay. So yeah, I think it's just because I know the language, it just sounds absolutely not native because his accent is so thick. And I mean, maybe for other languages too, because I don't know the other languages other interpreters interprets. So maybe it's the same um for the other languages, that it may as sound as ridiculous to people who know the language. But one of them was the English interpreter. Um and the English interpreter looks to me to be mixed. Um so when he actually spoke English, it was very surprising to me that he has a pretty thick accent too. A Japanese accent, I mean. Um but yeah, I think that's just a little personal opinion. Um and so I think that kind of took a little bit out for me. And yeah, I think the theme, the plot, well, the main theme I think was very, and the setting is good. And that's why I was like drawn to the story to begin with. Um so I think it definitely had a lot of potential. And it's not a bad theme. I think original enough. Um and definitely interesting. I would like to see more, but um I just think it could use a lot more complexity in it, because it is a very um could say a heavy sort of topic, um social, mm, say issue. So I think there is a lot to explore there, but I think they just end up just like scratching the surface because of the character settings, and not enough, not enough was put into it. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just like I feel like they could have explored more um if they want to do this topic or this theme. So I think for me it would be um definitely a 3. I think probably a 3.4. Yeah, 3.4. 3.4 sounds good. Yeah, 3.4. Tokyo Salad Bowl. I also think the main guy looks familiar somewhere. I feel like I've seen him before. Something else. Um yeah, Tokyo Salad Bowl, I'd say 3.4. I think that is good. But the next one I want to talk about is a iconic movie that I have not watched until now. What is it called? Tu Wong Fu. Tu Wong Fu for sure. Tu Wong Fu, thank you for everything. What's her name? Damn it. I need to say this properly. Tu Wong Fu, thanks for everything. Julie Newmar. Okay. Oh my god, I forgot. The other thing I had to complain about Tokyo Salad Bowl is, they had this, they have this like, anime, character cut out in the police station, um, and which is like typical because like in Japan they have a lot of like just like anime style, like advertisement, all that stuff. So they had one in the police station, and it's this like female character with the cop outfit, that's like holding up a finger like this. Um, and it was just so funny because that finger, I don't know if it was just me or maybe just the angle, but the finger of that character looks so big. It looks so big that I cannot help but look at it. And it takes, because there were some sort of like more emotional scenes in that setting. And you just got like this cutout, which is like the anime character, which is fine, with this giant finger looking like this in the background, and it just like took me out of the scene. So yeah, that's just like my other complaint. But oh, Tu Wong Fu. I'm gonna talk about Tu Wong Fu. Tu Wong Fu, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. Which, if you are in the community, you would know it is an iconic film. It came out in 1994, I think. Do not quote me on that. But a while ago, right? It is iconic. Honestly, if you study film or queer history or the intersection of the two, you will know this film. And I do know this film from studying such subjects. I've never watched it. It is on Tubi, by the way. Tubi, underrated. It's completely free, and it's got like ton of good movies too. Like, honestly, you're missing out if you're not using Tubi. But it is on Tubi, so it's for free. It's just gonna have ads, but it's fine. So Tu Wong Fu, the plot is pretty simple. Like it's a road trip movie. You got two drag queens that one from New York won the, I don't know what they're called, but they won the drag show thing. So they are the queen, and so they represent, I don't know if they represent, but they won in New York, so they got qualified to compete in Hollywood or in Los Angeles. So essentially, they won like an all expense paid for trip to Hollywood. And first of all, it's about these two drag queens that won, like, got tied. So they are going together. And then they met this other queen that obviously didn't win, who is like, just like a baby queen, who was sad about it, and then the two decided to bring her on to the trip as well. And because of that, they decided to sell their plane ticket, and they bought a car instead to drive across America. And so the entire film is the road trip. Like, it's a road trip movie. And it's about, them sort of, you got the two more experienced queens bring a baby one, and teaching her sort of the ways, like you could say. And then obviously, driving across America, the sort of the prejudice, this that they encounter. So it's a road trip movie with 3 drag queens and the people they met on the way. And I would say it's a comedy. Is it actually in that genre? It's my personal opinion. I think it's like it's very comedic, I think. And honestly, I will say the comedy does hit. I think the other thing about Tokyo Salad Ball is some of the comedy I don't think it hit for me personally. But To Wong Fu, like I think the comedy very well written. All of them are funny. All of them are very good actors. So they go on the road trip, and most of the film happens around, so like their car broke down, and they were kind of forced to stay in this like town in the middle of nowhere, essentially. Where is it? I don't. It's called Snydersville. I did look up where that was, but I don't remember. Snydersville is in Pennsylvania. So I guess they haven't gone far. So the car broke down and they're forced to stay in this small town called Snydersville. Until like for the weekend until they can get the parts for the car to fix it. And also the special thing about the film is also that they're drag queens, so they are not trans women, but the entire time they do not break the drag character. You don't see them, well, only in the beginning of the film. Like it starts with one of them well, I guess both of them, the two main characters dressing up for drag. But aside from that, you don't see them out of drag, which I do think it's intentional, like, and obviously not realistic, but it is intentional, to sort of make a point there. So they are in drag the entire time, and they forced to stay in this tiny town, who people obviously probably have not heard of such a thing, and probably didn't even know such a thing could possibly exist. And because they don't break the drag character, like they introduce themselves as women. And I think one really cool thing is at the end, like one of the main characters in the one of the main women in that town ends up being very good friends with one of the main, I could say the main drag queen. And she's like, I already know, because of your Adam's apple. Which, when I looked up the IMDb, because I was so curious who Wong Fu is, because you don't, he's not a character in the film. So I was curious about that. So I looked up IMDb, and I'm like, how IMDb has like fun facts. And one of the fun facts was that they were like, fun fact, actually, both male and female have Adam's apple. It's just that, men are typically more noticeable. but it's just funny because they put it as a fun fact, and that was one of the main, like, heartwarming scene of the film, is that she's like, I have a lady friend that has an Adam's apple, you know? And then she turns around and she's like, I don't see you as a woman, and I don't see you as a man, I see you as an angel. And I'm like, eh. And then she was like, that will do for now. I think that's something along the line. So yeah, they present themselves as women. And you know, there's nothing to do in the town. So kind of the three of them kind of went on to sort of their own adventure. They each, you know, sort of meet different characters of that town. And you know, in the process really get to know a lot of them. And obviously there's going to be some who are prejudiced, but you know, a lot of them do, by getting to know them as people, do end up, like, you know, you could say they figured out or they didn't figure out, but either way, you know, they become accepting of them. At the end, like one of the before they got into before they went into got to that town, they were pulled over, and like the cop tried to assault the main drag queen, and like she like kicked him or something to the ground, and they thought he was dead. um and like what's her name, Vida Chi Chi is um the baby queen. So Vida is the main character. You know, what was the other one? Noxie is the other queen, other winner. So you got Noxie. Does this look right? Oh, it's this way. Noxie, Vida, and Chi Chi. So and Vida was the one who was driving the entire time. So honestly, why are the other two complaining? They aren't even driving. So they got pulled over. The cop like tried to assault Vida, and she like kicked him to the ground, and then they're like, "Oh no, is he dead?" And then Chi Chi was like trying to check on his the cop, and was like, what did she say? I think I wrote down what she said. I don't remember if this is right, but she was like, "Don't quote me, but I think this one is deceased." And then they're like, "Ah, I'll kill the cop," and then so like they like ran away, and then like that cop obviously is not dead. And like the other cops end up coming to like discovering him, and then they found one of Vita's shoe on the scene. And like, mind you, this is like a very small town, so they've never like they probably have never encountered drag queens before. Probably know of them, but like all the cops were laughing at that cop that she got beat up by a girl. And so he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go catch these whatever people by myself. And he like, it's fun, I mean, it's comedy, so like he had like a list of like what's the exact word, he's like, places that homos go to, flower shop, ballet classes, or something like that. So like he has his own sketch of Vida, and he goes to these places to find her. And I was saying, oh, and then they got car broke down, and while, you know, they were in Snydersville, while the cop was trying to, you know, find them. Um so so I was saying, like, you know, really the townspeople, with or without knowing they are drag queens, you know, or really knowing what drag queens is, or knowing that you know, they are in drag and not like um actual or biologically female. I think that is beside the point because they all, you know, learn you know, they all, especially the characters that each drag queens get to know in the meantime, you know, all got to know them as individuals, you know. And whether they figured out, you know, is kind of besides the point. But the thing is, so eventually, and like I said, you're gonna get people who are prejudiced and then people who are not. Um, so um, in the end, like we've found out like the sort of like the say the place that they were staying at um is owned by this nice lady who the husband is the owner of that car repair thing that was going to repair their car. Um, and they found out like the husband beats the wife, in which Vita is like in the film she is like the ultimate good guy. Because she's like always willing to help others, and it was her idea to bring Chi Chi along too. So um she keeps telling like Noxie and Chi Chi that, you know, if you see people in need of help, like you have to help them. And that's why, because they were like, you know, you just gotta leave this one alone or else you're gonna get beat up too. Um, which I don't think either one is incorrect, you know. Um, but you know, she ends up beating up the husband. And so the husband obviously is not happy. And then the husband meets the cop in a bar, and that's how the cop ends up finding them in Snydersville. Um, and you know, the cop ended up being coming and was like, "Give me the drag queens or whatever," and like they are, you know, trying to say that they're evil, and then everyone in the town ends up coming out and was like, "I'm a drag queen. I'm a drag queen. No, I'm a drag queen." Um, and I don't think it's even like explored in the film. Like, do they even know what a drag queen is? Maybe, maybe not. Doesn't matter. Probably not. Um, but they all love it. Um, and it was like they had a strawberry festival that initially was boring. That they said just, you know, they just make pies and eat it. That's all. Um, and it was because of the queens. They're like, oh no, like a festival, you gotta make it, you know, all grand and stuff. So they made like they picked out outfits and like they make like decorations, all that stuff. And so the cop came on the day of the festival, so everyone was like all dressed up. Um, and so they're like, no, I'm the drag queen. Um, and everyone was like saying they're the drag queen. And that drove, you know, as a comedy, of course, the cop mad and was like, I'm not, you guys will regret this. Um, and then the husband also ends up leaving. And then there's also like the young boys of the town. At first, you know, some of them try to assault Chi-Chi, some of them, I mean, they're just like rude. Um, and it was like Noxie that um couldn't take it anymore, and she was like, "This is how you greet a woman." Um, you know, instead of doing whatever weird shit you do, you say good afternoon or good morning. Um, so like they also end up, um, you know, having a change, um, because of that. And again, it's comedy, so it's not like they're digging it's not gonna be too realistic, I can say. Because obviously it's not that easy to change a person if that was how they were educated, that's how they were brought up. Realistically, it's not gonna be that easy, but it's a comedy and it made it, it made the point. Um, so Vida ends up bonding with the wife who was being abused. And Chi-Chi, well, I'll talk about Chi-Chi in a bit, but Noxie ends up bonding with this old lady that it's so funny because initially people told them like that lady does not speak. Can she even hear? They don't know because she does not respond. But I really like the printed piece. There's not a lot of sticker in this. Look at the printed Lego piece, Lego logo. I like this. So there's this old lady, that everyone is like, oh, don't bother talking to her. Like she does not respond. And she was like holding a book of like an album, and she dropped like a picture, and Noxie was like chasing her. It was a funny scene because like Noxie was like chasing her, to give her back the picture that she dropped, but she was running away from her. And there was a part where she's like running, and then Noxie was like following her. She's like, "Don't run away!" And then she does like a Yui. It's so funny. And she was like, "Did you just do a Yui?" And she had to like follow her home to give her back the pictures, and then Noxie just like ended up just like sitting there and ramble about the trip and all that stuff. And she has, obviously they're going to Hollywood, so she has a dream of what she's gonna do in Hollywood. And she also obviously has a love for movies, and she started yapping about movies. And turns out that this, which was brought up before, but this lady, like her husband, who ran away, by the way, so it's just her now. But the husband used to be like I think someone who works in films, and so her house has a lot of these memorabilia, if you can call it that. So just a lot of like film related stuff. So she starts yapping about movies and Hollywood and her dreams and all that stuff. And obviously, like, the lady's not gonna talk. Noxie's probably just like yapping on her own. Probably feels good to her too, having someone that listens. Let me find this piece. Oh, right here. But ends up, like, she was, thinking, she, like, forgot, like, a name of the film or something. And then, the old lady, being a wife of someone who used to work in movies, starts responding, filling in the blank for Noxie. And so obviously you have this like comedic moment of like they just yapping, and then the old lady who's not supposed to speak suddenly spoke, but like Noxie was just kept yapping and didn't realize, and they go back and forth until she stops and she's like, "Wait a minute, did you just talk?" Very classic, comedy moment, but effective. Um, and then, they sort of bonded over that, over their love for movies. And it's also kind of cute that, Noxie was the one who to discover after, like, she probably lived there and hasn't talked for so long to people of the town. But it's just kind of cute that Noxie, this like outsider, um, was the one who got her to talk. Um, and so they now share a bond, um, Noxie and that old lady. So, um, so that was Noxie, and then Vita was with the wife who was abused. Um, and also, Vita also was kind of talking to that lady's daughter, who has a crush on one of the young boys in town, who now the Chi-Chi. So their car broke down right before they got into town. So their car broke down in the middle of nowhere, and so they're like, "Great, now what are we gonna do?" Like, Chi-Chi's like, "I'm gonna get a ride," and they're like, "Right, like getting a ride requires someone to pass by. Like no one's passing by," and so Chi-Chi was able to get a ride to Snydersville, obviously. Um, so that young guy drives a pickup truck, who's from Snydersville, brings them there. Falls in love with Chi-Chi, who also happened to be the crush of that little girl that Vito was talking to. So Chi-Chi, the person who she bonds with, is the young guy of Snydersville. Also happened to be the one who picked them up. So like at first the other not bad, but badly mannered, and say that, other guys of the town like tried to assault Chi-Chi. The guy, forgot his name. I keep calling him the guy. Came in his pickup truck and like kind of saved her, and then like did some cute stuff with her, falls in love with her. And in the meantime, Vita is telling the little girl, like, go, you have this dream, you just need to believe in it, and all that stuff. Obviously, it's a comedy. It's not going to be that deep. Or it can be deep. Not saying comedies can be. I mean, the movie is sort of deep, but like it's not going to be as realistic, or it's going to be sort of romanticized. So meanwhile, Vita is telling the little girl, like, you believe it, it's gonna happen, you're just gonna work towards it. This guy that you have a crush on, you just need to, like, be true to yourself, all that stuff. And then, the guy ends up falling in love with Chi-Chi, and they have this big argument about, because, the guy comes to where they're staying at and was like, Chi-Chi, I love you, will you go out with me? In front of Chi-Chi and the little girl. And the little girl obviously is upset because she has a crush on him, and finds out that he's not actually in love with her. And so the drag queens, the three of them, Noxie's not really in the argument, but they had a big argument because Chi-Chi's like, I'm in love with this guy, I'm gonna stay in this town forever, he's the one. And Vita sort of being kind of the more realistic voice in this conversation is like, no. He thinks you're a woman, which you are not, you're just a drag queen. And you're not being honest with him. He is going to be disappointed. And you can't, do that to him. And he's like, why not? Blah, blah, blah. And they have a big fight over it. And honestly, it's just not realistic, right? Because Chi-Chi isn't her. Is like in that mood of like, oh my god, I'm so in love with him. Guy's so nice. Um, can she stay in Snydersville forever? Probably not. Like she's from New York City. Um, and she barely knew the guy. Um, so, um, so Vida is kind of being the realistic one here, and also like they're right, like because they never break character. They never break character of the drag. And they introduce themselves as women to these people. Um, you know, the young boy, you know, can't really say deceive. I don't know if that's the right word, but think that, Chi-Chi is a woman instead of a drag queen. Um, which early on in the film they sort of established a difference. They kind of spelled it out for the audience. So Vida is like, you can't deceive this young boy. It's not right. And obviously Chi-Chi's not gonna agree with her, and then eventually we'll come to, um, think over it and agree with Vida. So eventually the boy, Chi-Chi talks to the little girl and was like, you know what, you can have him. I don't like him anyway. And then there's that heartbreak that, obviously she does love him, but she knows that it's not gonna work. Um, so there's that scene, just sort of like she's like, I don't love him. I don't love him anyway. And then you see her, sad. So she gave up the boy, and the little girl end up like, asking him for a date, and they go on, whatever. Happy ever after there. And then they comes to, it's like comes to learn that there's the strawberry festival, and then they all get to know kind of the other women of the town. Other women of the town who's like never, you know, had like a proper festival, proper celebration, dress up, none of that. And obviously the drag queen's like, oh no, like, we gotta do a proper festival if it's gonna be a festival. And like one of them turns out to be owns a salon, and they had this like the only clothing store in town is owned by this young boy who has a stutter. And so because of the stutter, like, the townspeople kind of make fun of him. Bag 8 is the second to last bag. Oh no, mustache guy has fallen. So they go and oh, and like Noxie found like a box of vintage clothing in the store that wasn't even for sale, and he's like, that's my grandmother's. And they all like go crazy and start dressing up, and that was fun. But the boy has stutter, which, people make fun of, and Vida being Vida, you know, they didn't really like go too much into like getting to know that character, but she ends up like gifting him a very special book, and then he ends up reading it, and whatever, feels valued and all that stuff. So there's a little bit of that there. But yeah, they all like, because the main most of the movie is about a road trip, but most of the film is them spending time in Snydersville. They end up like planning this festival. Um, Vida ends up beating up the husband. Husband ends up telling on the queens, and the cop shows up, and they're like, is not willing to give up the drag queens, and the cop leaves. They had a good time, and then now they need to leave, and then that's when the scene I brought up before of the wife was like, I already knew because of your Adam's apple, and I'm lucky to have a woman, a lady friend with the Adam's apple. Oh, because she was saying like, oh, I really consider you as a friend, and I do think it's important for us to have lady friends, something like that. And then I think Vida in that moment, again, Vida being Vida, is like, you know what, I have to tell you something. And she stops her, and she's like, I already know. And that, it's very heartwarming um, moment. And then she turns around and be like, I don't see you anymore. I see you as an angel. That was. So everyone had a grand old time. They leave town because that was just for the weekend. Fix the car, and goes on. And it's not important where their destination is. It's about the journey, right? It's not about the results. It's about a journey. So so it doesn't matter. Or no, actually, yeah, they don't end up going to Hollywood, right? Because um in I think it was in Pennsylvania too. They end up passing Vida's where the town that Vida was from. They discover that Vida actually comes from a rich family, but obviously because of who she is, the family does not accept her. So there's also this scene where they're like, oh, you have to show us the town where you're from, and she's like drove past the house, her parents' house, and kind of stopped her for a minute, and then what you assume, her mom comes out, and they sort of uh locked eyes and recognize each other, and the mom was like embarrassed and hurried back into the house. So that was a little bit of that, and then so there was that, and then so everything happened after everything happened in Snydersville. Um, you know, Vita was like, you know what, it doesn't like Hollywood doesn't matter. What I want to do right now is go back to 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 my parents, and I don't know, assume resolve some childhood trauma, all that good stuff. It doesn't show what happened after, but so it doesn't show them going to Hollywood. It doesn't show the resolution with the family. But again, that's besides the point. But it's sort of the ending shows like kind of sort of like fast forward because during this road trip, like you know, one of the thing is the queen, the experienced queens, picking up this baby queen and teaching her the ways. And ending of the movie, fast forward, the baby queen is now a winner as well. So sort of like a good round off there. So yeah, that's the entire movie. Very iconic, and I went a lot into it because I love it, and also it's I mean, it's so old. Like, there's no spoil. Can you even spoil it? Call it spoil at this point? So, like, I do think in like queer film history, it is a very has a very significant place in that history. But you say Is it ahead of its time? I would say yes. It came out what 20 is it 20 like almost 30 years ago. Um and so is it groundbreaking? I don't think it's groundbreaking, which is fine. Like nothing, not everything has to be groundbreaking. But, I do think it's pretty ahead of its time. Obviously, it's not the first to do so. You got Paris is Burning that came out long before Tu Wong Fu, which when did that come out? Paris is Burning, like 1990. That already introduced the ballroom culture in a cinematic space and to the world too. So can't say it's the first of its kind or groundbreaking or anything like that, but it is ahead of its time, and I do think that the usage of comedy here was very well done and very appropriate. Obviously, I think using comedy and the way that it was presented is going to lose some sort of realistic or some sort of realism to it. But, that's not really what the film is trying to get at, right? I think looking back from looking back now, like from 2026, with the, change in society, political climate, like you can find a lot of fault in this film. If you're judging it from what we know now, but when we look at, films of age, I think approaching it from today's point of view is one thing. Not to say it's wrong, but you have to take into account the time and background that it came out of. You can't really disregard that, regardless if you're gonna look at it through a lens of today or not. And so I think that being said, I think nothing can do everything is I think it's important to keep in mind, because while it's not wrong to judge or look at this film from today's point of view, or even when the movie came out, that point of view, like I said, being a comedy, it's not going to be able to achieve certain realism or sort of a lot of the heavy lifting that some other films of the same category can achieve. And that is why it is important to keep in mind that not everything is going to nothing's going to be everything. We certainly can criticize this film for the setting, their point of view of gender. You can say from today's point of view, some stuff may be outdated. And again, I think it being a comedy, I think one main big thing is that a lot of things was presented in a comedic way, in a more romanticized way. That, some can say that it doesn't dig into the main theme deep enough, but I just think it's important to remember that, the film they chose to present it this way, um, is not going to achieve everything because this is a very big and deep uh topic to go into. Um, and it choosing a genre that is comedy, I think it achieved what it set out to do. Um, which I feel bad talking about this after Tokyo's, like, after saying bad things about Tokyo Fallible of not being, like, um, deep and complex enough. Which, because Tokyo Salad is not, it has a lot of comedic element in it, but it's not entirely a comedy, and it has a lot of room to dig deeper. It is also a very, very you know deep issue as well, which I'm not saying that it has to do everything, but um I just, like, it could be done, but it was not done. Is what I'm trying to say. And To Wong Fu being a comedy, I think it achieved a lot of stuff, especially being um a product of its time. Um, you know. I don't know if it makes sense. I'm just talking out of my mouth hole right now. Um, and I am by no means a professional. It is all personal opinion. So I just think I should have watched this film sooner. I don't know why I didn't. Um it is honestly, like, it was very effective. Like, very, very simple story, right? Three drag queens go on a road trip. Trouble, you know, whatever trouble they run into. Um very simple plot. Um you know, the plot being that, going into the story, if you already read, an introduction of the film, you're gonna know, like, okay, they go on a road trip, and obviously they are going to get into some sort of trouble, right? Just because they're drag queens. Um, so you already know that. There's no, like, spoilers. Um, you know, you expected, but it is just so well done, you know? Um, a simple story that is told very effectively. And not, like, sounds like an easy thing to do, but it's not, because, you know, storytelling is the skill. And telling a story, even though that is a big thing of movies or what they try to do, it's not always done well. So you really have to applaud them for, you know, a very simple plot and very effective storytelling. The the comedic element hits, the dramatic element hits, the emotional elements hit. Um, you know, whatever all everything they set out to do um was done effectively. Um ah and I feel like I'm like praising it so much. Um but I just think it's just it was done very well, and um it being such a heavy topic too, like um regardless if you're trying to look at it that way, like, you know, even if you don't care for the theme, you going into it as a just a comedy film, I think it it is going to hit the spot too, you know, if you just look at it simply as a comedy film. But it also has a lot of significance in the history of queer cinema. And I'm not gonna go into like, I think there's some drama behind like the real life actors and all that stuff there. I'm not gonna go into that. I don't know any of that, so I'm not gonna. I'm looking at it from an audience watching the film. That is all. So, with that said, obviously I'm going to rate it pretty high. I think it will be over a 4. Um, and just like for my personal, again, very prejudiced. My rating is very objective, extremely objective. Um, it's going to have a special place in my heart simply because of the themes, characters, very good characters, by the way, too. Um, like I think each of them, um, very clear, very clear distinctions of, you know, each character's setting. Um, yeah, so it's gonna have a special place in my heart because of the theme. Um, it's going to get a bonus because of the significance in history and the community. That's why I say my rating is very subjective. I don't know. It's definitely gonna get a 4. Gonna go over 4.5. I mean, I feel like if it's not gonna go over 4.5, I gotta say some bad stuff about it too. I think if I'm gonna say some bad stuff about it, it's the it's just it's gonna be my complaint, but it's also not really a complaint. I just like I said, nothing is going to achieve everything here, but probably just like, you know, a lot of big topics, and because it's a comedy, it's sort of glossed over, or not. I can't really say glossed over, but it being a comedy and, you know, sort of have that romanticized, and obviously they have an unrealistic aspect to it too because the queens never break drag. But so take this with a grain of salt, but I just, you know, with this kind of topic, I do want to see more explored, more realism explored, and how, you know, it really affects people because, like Like realistically, if 3 drag queens in drag goes to the middle of nowhere town in America, like they're gonna be dead. Nobody's gonna be like dancing with them. Like they're gonna be dead, right? And not that like I said, this is a comedy, so I'm not expecting that to happen. But you know, but sometimes you're just like, that's a little bit that what just happened there. That change that happened there is. You're like, if this is the real world, they're dead by now. So that's just like a tiny thing that is like not really a complaint, but maybe like something to think about. Which, again, is not the film's not trying to achieve that. So I can't really say that's like a bad thing. But I think it could like, you know, with the comedy you could still use a little bit more nuance. So I don't think it would be like a high 4, but I think a 4.4 point. I think a 4.5. That's solid. That is very good. 4.5. Maybe a 4.6. And the other thing is I don't typically watch comedy. 4.6. Let's say 4.6. A little bit higher than 4.5. 4.6 is very high, by the way. 4 is high already. And over 4.5 is very, very high. Ooh, now we got the outside of the truck, which love it for all the printed piece, because when I looked at the box, I was like, it better not be stickers. We got these pieces here. Oh, got hair on it. Just very nice. I do like them. You got 2 that's like the minifig going that way, and then you got 2 that's like a minifig going this way, and there's that way. Very nice. Let's see. This one goes here. Oh, I think these pieces are all like Lego. That goes in the truck. Eh? Oh, wrong. Wrong. Oh no. And this goes here. Very nice, and then it lifts up. Oh, I love it. And then this one goes here. And this one goes here. And you gotta lift this up, and then you can put the sets inside. So much hair. Oh, and now we gotta put oars in the box. Let's see. Tools. Oh, I gotta sort them. Let's see. This one. Got a drill. Put this box. We got a. I don't know what it's called, but I know what it does. Got a little. It goes here. And then the rest, we got, I think, a hammer, a wrench, screwdriver. All go in here. And we'll put on the lid. This one, lid. Let's stay. This is like tools for the truck. And this goes in here. This has a space in here. And these go in here. These, the tool, go in here. Cool. And then pallets of Lego sets. And these are all city sets, I assume. Since they're all blue. Reminds me of the meme. Name a color that starts with the letter M. And he goes, blue? I think that's it. Got... I don't know city sets, so I can't tell you these. We got some cars and some helicopters. And you got a few of these pallets. But yeah. Both the Tokyo Salad Bowl and Tu Wong Fu recommend. Oh, and I didn't talk about why it was called Tu Wong Fu. And because I did look up who the hell Wong Fu is. So no one in the film is called Wong Fu, but it was because so they were like trying to sell the ticket and find out a way to get the three of them all to Hollywood. And they were in a restaurant talking to this guy that they know that like whatever get discount for them. And in the background, where Vita was like checking herself in her like little mirror, she sees behind her a picture of Julie Newmar, like a signed autograph picture of Julie Newmar. And on it, it says, Tu Wong Fu, thanks for everything. And then signed Julie Newmar. So that's where the title of the film comes from. And because, you know, they were able to figure out a way to go to for all three of them to go to Hollywood. Vita was like, I feel like this is, you know, a sign. And then, you know, Julie Newmar appears in her mirror. So she was like, I feel like this is a sign. And then they end up like bringing the autograph with them on the trip. Oh, and the thing is they end up oh, I forgot this one. And so they brought the autograph with them like on the trip kind of for good luck. And Vita has it on like the dashboard, the autograph. And when the car was broken down and went to Steinersville, like obviously brought the you know, autograph with her. And when she was saying goodbye to the wife who was being abused, that they bonded, she gave her the picture as a gift. Like, you know, that was a good luck, a sign of good luck for them, and as a farewell gift, Vita gave her that signed autograph. That was really nice. Yeah, that's where the film name came from. It's nothing to do with Julie Newmar and nothing to do with Wong Fu, even though Julie Newmar did appear at the end. Um, and then I was like so curious, looking up who the hell Wong Fu. Um, and I figured well, at least according to IMDb, he was like someone who owns like a restaurant in Hollywood, and has a lot of celebrities that have been to his restaurant. So he like has a lot of autographs on the wall, from different celebrities. So that's where the movie name come from. That's all. But yeah, I recommend, highly recommend. Um, Definitely. In my opinion, um, a must watch. Wong Fu. Tokyo Salad Bowl. I'm not gonna say it's like, oh, you have to watch this in your lifetime, but I do think it's still worth a watch. Not bad in any way. Okay. And then we got a second palette. Oh, this is the last one. Last palette of we got four pallets of Lego here. We got some cars and helicopter sets. And then we have like some boats and like a whole scene, lighthouse scene set there. And then you have it in a truck, and you can close them like this. And that's the trailer. And then let's see how to connect these. Ah, everything is falling. Let's see. This goes. Goes in here. Cool, and then you can use the forklift here through the pallets. Other city sets. Oh, there's a helicopter. Is it this set that was on the pallet? I want to try it. One of the. Do this, and you put it on the forklift, and you do. And he goes, and you can put it down like that, or you can put it up like that. You put it into the truck. Forklift, very cute. But the main event is the truck. You can open here, there's his tools for the truck. And then you can open here for the pallets on both sides. And then for the driver, oh, I assume this is the driver. And this is the driver. Oops. Okay. This is the driver. So the top of the truck comes off. And this is like his living quarters. I don't know what to call it, but the back. And then he can sit. I think he can sit in the driver's seat. There. Maybe. Maybe not. Look, he is sitting there. He is driving the truck. You go like this, and it works like a real truck. The trailer goes like that. Very cool. I love it. I love it. And then you got a bonus hot dog stand. Very cool. I'm gonna put these aside. Alright. I'm gonna goodbye tier list. Don't save. This weekend... I'm glad I built this set. This weekend, we'll see what we're playing. I definitely have a lot of games to play because of the Steam sale right now. Probably will buy a lot more games too that will be on my backlog forever. But yeah, we'll see. Alrighty. Alright. That's all for today, and I'll be on this weekend as usual. Goodbye.